welcome to my channel. Well, I got this stuff in the background just so you got something to look at, but I'm mainly going to talk about cats and what happened recently involving Bosco, the cat. But what I think happened recently, I don't know. But I'll try to go through this quickly as far as like the background, because when I was growing up, we always had pets in our household of some kind, and the first pet that I remember ever having as my own was like a hamster or something. I don't even remember its name. I don't know what it was. And they don't live forever. And we had a household dog. It was a little older dog, a Cocker Spaniel, called her Sable. It was black. And, she was more laid back. She wasn't a puppy or anything like that. And when we moved to Houston, my first real pet was a dog, Scamp. And he was kind of like a mixed breed between, like, he had long legs. He was a hound, basically. We got him from the SPCA. Anyways, when I was growing up, it was mostly dogs that I had. And later on in teenage years, my sister got a black cat. I don't remember his name. I think she called him Michael. I thought it was Freddie, but Freddie was the name of a guinea pig we had. Anyways, we always had dogs, more than one. And cats, I didn't have much feelings for them, because you grow up around dogs, you're used to dogs, and then a cat comes in the household and tears up the furniture and pretty much does what he wants. He doesn't obey, they're different. They're different animals. They don't obey orders. They don't want to perform tricks for you, anything like that. Fetch, none of that stuff. So I didn't think much of them. And then I went into service, and you really can't have pets unless you live off base or something. And later on in England, when I met I didn't meet her there. I met her in other bases, but it was going to be my first wife. We were living together off base, and she got a couple of kittens. And you know how that is. I didn't like them and stuff at first, but then they kind of grow on you. And then she always had cats, and I was married to her for 12 years, so I got converted, basically. I like cats. After a while, I understood them. They were kind of like independent, and they do their own thing. But they can still be pets, too. They're just different than dogs, They operate on a different level. And they're not as much like, they're not going to do things like watchdog, but they can hear things. If you have a cat in your lap and you're hard of hearing, man, they can hear. They can hear somebody walking up the stairs or even out in the parking lot. I think their hearing is a lot better. Their hearing, their smell, their eyesight might not be as good, especially Buddy. I think he might be slightly cross-eyed, but that was a trait in the Siamese cats. But with Buddy, the way I met him was on that gazebo, that little picnic table area and everything. He would occasionally be up there where they have the cookers, just chilling. And I'd walk by and I'd see him. I went, wow, because I had a cat like that in New Mexico that would come by, and I started feeding him, and I went through the whole process of trying to make him a wild cat into a house cat. But I skipped the part that I did with Buddy, which was you befriend them a lot first, to where they allow you to pet them and everything. But anyways, getting back to Buddy, that other cat, I went through that whole process, and I had a separate room for it, after he was neutered, and he went crazy. He was tearing the place up, and he wanted out, and he did not like indoor life at all. And so I opened the door, I thought, well, maybe he'll be an indoor-outdoor cat. And he said, the heck with this place. I came here with my manhood, and I left with, you captured me and put me in a cage, and they cut me. They used a spay blade. They used a huge spay blade. Um, yeah, so, first impressions, I guess. But, so, with Buddy, I just start off slow. At first, there's a difference between a feral cat and a stray cat. A stray cat is a house cat that either has been abandoned or just pretty much stays out all the time, only comes home for supper. And a feral cat hasn't grown up around humans. I think Buddy was a feral cat because you could tell the way just simple noises that a house cat does, or how a cat enters an apartment or a door. A house cat will just walk right in like they're family. A feral cat will look around. They may not want to even come in at first. You have to build up your confidence with them and everything. But before Buddy was coming in to eat, I was feeding him outside, and one of the cats that would come up was a yellow cat. There seemed to be all of a sudden there just appeared a group of yellow and white cats, and most yellow cats are male, but at least one of these is female, Buddy's girlfriend. And another one was this little young cat. He was male, but he was not aggressive at all. And I never really named him. I just said, hey, there's your friend. Where's your friend? And he would try to be friendly with Buddy, and Buddy would, he'd attack him a little bit, but not, too much. And all that other cat would do was crouch down and everything. Well, that cat, I'm going to call him Bosco now. That cat, one of the last pictures I had was, of him staged out in the rain, with all the other cats that are posted up waiting for Fifi to walk by. And Buddy was, in there and all this other stuff. There was Buddy, Fifi, and Midnight? Yeah, Midnight. All posted out waiting for Fifi to walk by. And Bosco was sitting back there. And, Buddy never really befriended him. He didn't befriend any of the other cats. Fifi's the only cat he's friendly with. The rest of them he can tolerate or not fight. But anyways, but I think Buddy was coming into his adolescent stage and everything where, Fifi was his first girlfriend. Because he acted differently. He used to come in and he would play with the mouse and he would have a good time and everything. And then all of a sudden, he wasn't interested in that. He was either eat and then go see where she's at, or if he does eat, all he wants to do is sit there and, eat and sleep. But he wasn't interested in chasing toys or anything like that. And I haven't tried a laser pointer on him yet. I'm going to get one. And you can get them at dollar stores. I think they're inexpensive. But yeah, so Bosco kind of like disappeared for a while. Bosco wouldn't just like hang out by the pool. He would be around there, but he would come up from somewhere. This is just from watching animals late at night, standing on the balcony. The dynamics of it all. And then, like about 2.5 weeks ago or so, this yellow cat appeared. Now, one of them, when I had put up a video of a yellow cat fighting, Buddy fighting with a yellow cat, and like mostly just talking crap, and then walking towards the pool. That may have been him. or this could be an entirely separate cat. You know, it seems to act the same way. You know, or it acted the same way. But this cat appeared by the pool and wouldn't leave the pool, and that happens a lot of times when a dog will come up, a big dog, and it can't get through that metal fence. You know, and if a cat's not good enough to climb up a tree, then all it's got to do is squeeze through that fence and it's safe. And there's water there too, so it's got two things. You know, it's got protection of water. It's not protected from the elements, you know, because it's open. But that cat got up there and wouldn't leave. I mean, if it went out, it started exhibiting odd behavior, you know. And at first I thought it had rabies. I looked up rabies after a while, and it said no. Actually, cats or any animal that gets rabies has a fear of water. It's because it affects the throat. They can't swallow or something, and they hate water. But so I eliminated that. But it was acting weird, and as I got a closer look at it, it looked like its face had either, you know, been singed in a fire, because the whiskers were even, you know, partially gone, you know, stubbed down, and a lot of the fur was missing from the face, and it just looked sick. And then when it meowed, it had a hoarse sound to it and everything. And you know, I'm already taking care of Buddy, or trying to take care of Buddy. You know, with Buddy, it took a long time before I could even pet him. You know, months. And then he got to where he liked being petted. And then because there were so many cats and it was competitive, the way he would eat fast, you know, and then be looking over his shoulder, I finally started letting him come in the apartment to eat. That was the main purpose. I wasn't going to, you know, try to make him a house cat. I was just give him a safe place to eat. And he started liking being petted. But, you know, also at the same time, he met Fifi. So he got to where he didn't want to stay in as much. And like I said, Bosco had disappeared. Well, if this is the same cat, it was acting weird, you know, like a cat when it goes to the bathroom, unless it's, you know, just peeing, it'll cover it up. Most of them will cover it up. They cover up that scent. They don't want other cats to know they're, you know, there. This one, when it would go out there, it would just get its business done, and it would get right back into the protection of the pool. And it would be right by the water. It would scratch every once in a while. You know, it would scratch a lot. And I thought, well, maybe it's just got fleas or, you know, something like that. So when I would feed the other cats down below by the sidewalk, and I want to put them up by my door and have them come up there, hey, give us food. So I'd put them by the sidewalk down there. That cat that was staying by the water and everything would come up, and then it would it'd have a hoarse sound to it, and all the other cats didn't want to be around it. And that's when I looked up and I said, well, what is it, you know, with this cat? And I remembered something I was told as a kid about mangy dogs and mangy cats and everything. I really didn't know what mange was. I know what it looked like, but I didn't know what it was. And it's mites. It's basically a mite infestation, and it's highly contagious. It can transfer to other cats, and in some cases it can, you know, it can transfer to humans. And they're really small, and all of a sudden I'm going, oh crap. Well, as much as I like this cat and everything, you know, I can't let him rub up against me, and I don't want to feed him there, so I would have to wait. I'd have to, you know, sneak out. That's when I started developing this conveyor belt system and stuff. I'd have to sneak out when he was there, just camped out, because he got a spot where he finally just camped out and would sit there, Bosco, and I brought food up to him and fed him that way. Or no other cats would be around, and I'd feed him and not let him rub up against me. But it was getting cold, and this is another thing you can tell about a stray cat versus a feral cat. A feral cat will know how to take care of itself most of the time. It can get out of the rain. It takes care of its coat. it knows, like the rain. If it's cold and windy, it'll find a place to shelter. It may not be the best spot in the world, but usually it'll be protected somewhat. But this one was just sitting there, and I thought, what is it about? Did its owner leave it at the pool and walk off? What the hell? I make up stories. Well, anyways, somebody else, and most people just walk by. The maintenance people saw it. They wouldn't do anything about it. And what had happened was a few days back, the weather was getting bad, but they were coming out to do the lawn. They come out sometimes, mow the lawn, and use leaf blowers, and that scared him off. And after that, he was gone. But right before that, it was raining. I went out there and I looked at him. I was trying to give him some food, and he was standing by. It was in the rain, and he looked like the first time you ever try to give a cat a bath, a house cat or something, the way they look. It just looks at you like, why did you do this to me? And are you a threat? And I don't know what to do, all this helpless and nothing I can do, I mean, if I had a towel, I'd have to just burn it or leave it there with him, dry him off, and then what, And one time when it had climbed up the stairs, this Bosco, when it had climbed up the stairs, I opened the door to let Buddy in, and it tried to go in too. I'm like, no, you get back. You get back. You're already too close, So anyways, ever since the leaf blowers and the riding mowers and everything came through, he disappeared. And in a way, that was a relief. But in another way, it's like, poor Bosco. I would say that, like, poor Bosco. Let me look out there and see if I see Bosco. And I saw a clump of leaves, dried leaves right where it was at. And at night, and I'd gotten to where I wouldn't open up my back door porch because the cats can hear me. They can hear, when I open up either door, and they'll come running up. And, it's like zombies are all, feed me. And I am on the second floor, but they know how to go upstairs. They know how to get up there. And fortunately, I don't have any neighbors, right across from me yet, but, I will. Eventually, they'll put people in there, and it's bad enough trying to sneak Buddy in, for food, but then if you got a bunch of them up there, it gets kind of obvious. So, like I said, in a way, that was a relief. And, what Bosco needed was a veterinarian, some serious, help with the mite infestation, and then a home, because he's not used to being out. You can't teach an older cat like that. And then he had some kind of pneumonia or some kind of infection. Anyway, I walked around in my walking arounds, and I looked, in the grass, or, because he didn't leave within 10 feet of that fence, surrounding the pool. That was his home base for a couple of weeks. Every night, every day and night, sitting out there, even rain or shine, he would be there, and it was like, God. And I said one other person tried to help him out, put a blanket out there for him, and put, 2 different bowls, with one with water and one with food. And he really wouldn't eat that much. And he'd sit there and scratch, and then he'd go to his one spot. He'd never used the blanket. And when the office type saw it and was walking by, they removed it. They got rid of it. And they're like, yeah, we can't have this here. It looks bad. And the cat, he just kind of like shuffled off to some other place. But anyway, yeah, that's the story of poor Bosco. It's been 3 days now, and I've seen no sign of Bosco. So it wasn't just like he ran away because of that. And animals will do that. They'll go off and die somewhere, or succumb to the elements. But I just thought the way it was acting, and the way it had no sense, that it would be there right around the pool when it croaked. But yeah, so you can have a happy ending to it. You can think that a roving vets without borders, veterinarians without borders. came through, was driving by, and said, "Oh, look at that poor, sick, mangy cat, half dead. I'm going to take care of it." You know, you can think that happened if you want to. Um, yeah, my story's a little bit more morbid, and a little bit more what I think happened, and I have no proof that it happened, so it's just as valid as any of the other ones. But he was in a bad way, and when you're on a farm, if it would have been a farm animal or anything, if you couldn't afford the vet or whatever and everything, like used to be like if a horse was going through and he broke his leg, now they can kind of fix that, but still, it's expensive. They put a bullet. They put a bullet in its cranium, and you see it in a lot of westerns and stuff. The horse is running through and he falls down, and the guy like, oh crap! He takes out his pistol, pow. Yeah, that happens. That happens in real life, and it's not cruel because they don't suffer for a long time. You have transport them to a bed. Yeah, they're in shock at first, but anyway, I don't want this to get morbid, but it was to that point, where it was either fix him or finish him, and I guess the elements finally finished off poor Bosco. But yeah, there's only so much you could do. It's like be kind to someone, be kind to something. Sometimes you got to be kind to animals, but you can get carried away with it. Because like in New Mexico, like I said, for a while I had a dog with a big backyard, and then the dog got ran over, and I didn't replace the dog. Just like with cats, the last cat that I had in here, she died, and I didn't replace her for the longest time because pets could be like family members, man, and when they're gone, when they go, you develop attachment to them. I even develop attachment to poor mangy stray cats, I couldn't do much. Like, poor Bosco, I wish I could do more for you. But, you can't. Like I said, I barely get by myself. I'm not trying to, solicit help or anything with this. Didn't set up a go feed me fund for Bosco. But, yeah. There's a lot we don't see in life and nature that go on where it's a lot more cruel, like wolves and stuff following a pack. They're not looking for the biggest, toughest ones to fight or take on the whole herd. They're looking for the straggler or the old one that can't keep up, got a little arthritis. They thin out the herd. They go for the easy ones. And that's what happens in nature, Because you think about the difference between a house cat and a stray cat. I mean, a stray cat and a feral cat. A feral cat has grown up at least a little while with its mother that either taught it, and its kitten mates that taught it a little bit about hunting and everything, and then it was exposed to wherever it is, the wild, the open, and they got used to that. A house cat didn't, if it was picked up as a kitten, which a lot of them are, they don't experience any of that. They don't know. They know. Maybe they fear the dishwasher and the vacuum cleaner or something, but they don't know about anything. I can tell the difference between Buddy when he's outside and when he's indoor. He makes a very good. He starts relaxing fairly well as an indoor cat, but when he goes out that door, his outdoor cat instincts click in. He looks around his shoulder. He's looking around things. He's not really paying much attention to me as much. He might, but he's really checking his surroundings out and stuff. And that's because he knows. He knows just anything come and get you. He's got the scars to prove it. The bite marks where, it looked like a dog or something big got him. Got a hold of him and enough to tear the fur off. Probably. Because I noticed the difference when I was feeding him. One moment he had it, and then the next time I saw him, he had a couple of bite marks in him, like, whoa. Yeah, that tends to make an impression on you. That's an impression you don't get as a house cat, The vacuum cleaner may be noisy and everything, or the dishwasher, but it doesn't come up and bite you, and take a chunk out of you. Hear that beep in the back? That's my battery charger back there. Now, see, I can hear that frequency. But if it gets too high up, I can't hear it at all. Well, anyway, there you go. I've rambled on long enough. Buddy's now, he's in the stage where he's the eat and run. I call it the McDonald's stage, where, hey, what do you got? And if you ain't got enough, then I'm out. And even if you got good food and his girlfriend's around, yeah, he he wants out with her. Well, but that's understandable. He's a cat. So there you go. That's a little cat story. Sorry, I didn't have a lot to involve with knives and stuff, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. While I was making this video, I got a knock on the door, and I'm expecting some cat food for Buddy tomorrow. That was the quickest I could get from Amazon. And it wasn't 40 cans, it was only like about 10 or 12 cans or something, because that's all I could afford. And so this is anonymous. I don't know who sent this to me, but thank you. Buddy, thank you. Some of his stray cat friends, thank you, because I was really wondering, uh, I'm not gonna get paid until like about 2 weeks, and I thought, I didn't worry about it too much. I told myself, I'm gonna get by. Somehow I'm gonna get by. I'm gonna go and buy some chicken, like Chris was talking about, cook up some chicken and stuff, and we're gonna get by somehow. And I forgot that I'm putting this up on the internet, and talking about it, because when I was making this video, this is an addition. I was editing this video when I got the knock on the door, and so I had been talking about a go feed me fund for Bosco, but it's kind of the same way with Buddy, and so someone anonymously donated these cans of food, and that means as much to me as anything. I appreciate any donations, but I mean this really helps out because you I can go hungry. I'm not worried about that. I can go hungry, but when a cat goes hungry, that's different. That's like you're a child. How do you explain that to a child? You can have a growling stomach, but when you're a kid, it's supposed to be taken care of. And I know he's a cat and it's different, a little bit. They can go hunt. It's not going to hurt them as much, but still. Anyways, I've already talked too much on this video, but I just want to add this here to say thank you, anonymous donor. That this community is great. There are good people out there, no matter what bad is going on. And thank you. I just don't know how to express it any other way. Thank you very much. And Buddy knows how to express it. He's going to eat all of this. Sooner or later, he's going to eat it. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.